Exodus chapter 19, introduction. Okay, this, I would say we're getting more to know the less, in a sense, historical, but a lot of theology of nation building, spiritual nation building that's now ahead. Next chapter, we're going to get the 10 Commandments. But before the 10 Commandments can be given, there's some preliminary rules that need to be set out so that the commandments ultimately can be given to the people. They had to be ready to receive those commandments. They have first had to understand that God ought to be feared. It's not a joke. And in this chapter, clearly, this is what coming out: this thunders, lightning, and fire, and trumpet sounds and everything to bring in this whole idea of, God is not our puppy dog. God is not our dog that you can tame. God is a lion. You can't tame him. You need to be afraid of him. Oh yes, sure. I mean, lions sleep 20 hours a day. So after eating, you don't really need to be afraid of them because they're not even going to move. They're just going to be so lazy. They're full. So in that sense, God's not like that, in the sense that you will just sleep the whole day and then for a bit of goes out on hunting and then eat and then kind of go on. God's not that. So everything we compare to God will always break down in some other place. But and yeah, I guess you get lions grow up with humans. It can be kind of in a sense tamed, but they're not dogs ultimately, right? They're not cats. And I actually feel cats not very tamed. But anyhow, so yes, this is what we're going to see in this chapter. So 3 months, third moon after, depending on when the first moon was, it might be just over 2 months later, is now when all of this happened, right? They're now at Sinai, Mount Sinai, where God promised Moses that this will be a sign, that they will come back and that they will worship him there, and that is going to be a sign. And I already spoke in detail about that sign. So Moses went up to the mountain to receive his information from God. And then God told him what they're supposed to do and how the people are supposed to stand around the mountain. They're not supposed to come through at all, break through, or they're going to be destroyed in the process. Right? This is a holy place, and they need to treat it therefore as a holy place. And so yes, Moses told the people, and as well, God told them that they need to keep the covenant because they saw what God could do. Now, God didn't say in this chapter here. Later on, in the writings of Moses, we're going to see how God is going to tell Moses that if they do this, then all these blessings will be. If they don't, then all the plagues of Egypt will be on them. Now, in this chapter, God didn't say if you don't do this, then all the plagues of Egypt would be on them. God just said that you've seen what I've done to the people there in Egypt. Now, how I brought you out, like on the wings of eagles, kind of, right? Like there in Lord of the Rings. So yes, just giant eagles in that case here, right? And God himself is now the eagle in this case. And God, like he proved himself that everything belongs to him. The whole earth is in the with. He proved it to Pharaoh in those chapters we've seen how God said. But this is ultimately now what it proves that he is. There's no other God like him. That everything belongs to him. The whole earth belongs to him. But not only the earth, the sun over there and the moon, the stars, absolutely everything, because God in the end made everything. So yes, Moses was then again informed to come up, and he went up. God came down, right? Remember a bit like in the Tower of Babel where God came down, confused the languages. Here God came down as well, and Moses went up. Not just God came down and then down, and be caught in the temple. No, came down to his mountain, and then Moses had to come up and meet God there on the mountain. And please, it's not a question of we need to meet God halfway for salvation or anything like that. That's kind of nonsense, right? This is not what's going to happen, because Moses could not go higher than the mountain, and for the people's sake, God couldn't go lower than the top of the mountain. So that leaves us just with Moses needing to go up to the mountain. So when he got there and God told him, okay, the people need to come, and And then after that, the people stay, but then the priests will come with him. And Moses like, oh no, God, but you said that no one is supposed to come here. And so God said, yes, okay, you just bring Aaron with you, and that's that. And that is ultimately then what they're going to. Moses is going to go up, and he is going to take Aaron with him up the mountain. At least that is what God said. And yes, so the chapter ends with Moses going down and then telling the people everything that God told him.